How you doing, everybody? So this is a anxiety story and what I did to help myself out to get through that sticky spot in my life. Now, I do want to say that I'm typically on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as anxiety goes. I'm typically sitting at about a 5 all the time. But at this time of my life, this is a couple of years back, I was at about a 9, 10 all the time. And I was like this for like 3 months. And so let's backtrack here. I'm going to backtrack about 15 years. I was flying, 3-4 times a year, and every time I flew, I would drink like a fish because I'm a white knuckle flyer. I'm scared shitless of flying, and I eventually said, I can't be doing this all the time because I feel like crap for the next couple days after I fly, and I know it's not very good for you to be drinking the way I was drinking. So what I did is I finally went to the doctor and I said, is there anything you can give me pharmaceutical wise that can calm me down? She said, yeah, I can prescribe to you some Xanax. So I knew nothing about Xanax. I didn't know what it was going to do to me. So I was going to fly in about 2 weeks and I wanted to try out one of these Xanaxes. So what I did is I broke one of them in half. I took the pill at night and I slept like a baby. I calmed me right on down. Even thinking about taking the pill got me kind of anxious because I didn't want to take anything. So I did actually fly, I think, like 2 times that year. I would take a pill flying there, and I would take another pill flying back. So I ended up having like a pill and a half left. I threw them away. Well, now let's fast forward to like 2.5 years ago. I was going through some major shit in my life. We just had a fire. We were getting through, we were getting through the fire that we had. We didn't know if the company was going to be around, going through tremendous stress at work. I had employees. I didn't know if we were going to shut down. What was I going to do with the employees? I was worried about them. How were they going to make a living? How was I going to make a living? And so I was under a tremendous amount of pressure. And I was sitting probably at, on a scale of 1 to 10, I was probably sitting at about a 9, sometimes at a 10. I mean, I was... It was bad. I had literally thought I was going to die. I had a sensation in my throat that I felt like I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was choking, and this was a constant state that I was in. The only thing that would get me out of my own mind, was to stay as busy as I could and to be doing 3 different things at one time, which probably aggravated it even more because I was just all over the map. So I eventually said, I can't live like this anymore. This is crazy. And I literally thought I was dying. So I sucked it up. I swallowed my pride. I swallowed my ego. I'm a very stubborn person. But I said, you got to go see a doctor. You got to find out what the hell's wrong with you. So I ended up going to the doctor. I had a full complete physical. She said, you're fine. Your oxygen is good. Your heart's good. Your blood pressure's up a little bit. But that's reasonable because of what you're going through. And she said, you're under a lot of stress, and this is why you're having this happen. She said that at the time, this was like 2.5 years ago, she said that 50% of her patients come in for this very reason. And I was kind of blown away that, I didn't know that many people came in to see a doctor to get pharmaceuticals to calm themselves down. So I told her my experience with the Xanax. And so she's prescribed to me Xanax. She gave me like 30 pills. And she also prescribed me Paxil. Well, I knew nothing about Paxil, but I took the prescriptions. I got them filled, went home, and I did all my research I could. I went to every blog. I went on YouTube. I went everywhere to find out what this kind of stuff will do to you over time. And I didn't like, there was pros and cons to all this. And I knew that my mind got me to this state of constant worrying, constant stress. I knew that my mind could get me out of this, but how was I going to do it? Well, I shelved the Paxil. I actually just threw them in a cabinet. But the Xanax, what I did was I took 1 pill and I stuck it in my wallet because my wallet's with me at all times. So I kind of had a safety net that I could fall back on if I was just going completely bonkers in my mind. And knowing that I wasn't dying from the physical calmed me down a little bit, knowing that I had some strange disease, And then also having the Xanax in my wallet calmed me down again. So I went from like a 9 down to an 8 down to maybe about a 7. Now, over time, the next couple weeks that went by, knowing that I had that safety net in my back pocket, started calming me down a little bit every day. Every day I got a little bit calmer, got a little bit more relaxed, and I contribute having the Xanax pill in my pocket helped me out. Getting the prescription but not taking the prescription helped me. So that's what I did. And over, I don't have a pill on me no more. I think I crushed like, just by sitting on the pill, I think I crushed like 3 pills, ended up throwing them away and then putting another one in there to replace it. But that's what I did. Didn't take no pharmaceuticals, but had the pharmaceutical. But I did have some experience with the Xanax. So I was tricking my mind, basically saying, you're gonna be okay. You're not gonna die from any of this. So, but that's just my experience. Do I recommend you taking a pill or not taking a pill? That's up to you. That's something you gotta decide. I will now backtrack again. Back when I was like 22, I was going through some more crap again. It was work-related stuff. And I ended up starting to do some research on St. John's wort. And I was taking St. John's wort for like 2 months, and it was actually calming me down, but it was giving me kind of a stomach ache. So I kind of got off the St. John's wort. Right when I got off the St. John's wort, I think it was either that day or the day after, the president of the company ended up walking out. He was having his own issues. He was a drunk. And I didn't want to tell my parents about this. They live in a different state, so I had to take the reins and kind of run the company without them knowing about it and trying to get this guy back. And at the same time, we also lost a very, very big customer for whatever reasons. And it didn't really bother me that much. But then again, when you're a 22-year-old kid, your mind can take a lot of abuse. You know what I mean? And I contribute just being young and not going through all the pressures of life, that I could accept what was going on. But also, I think the St. John's wort did help. I haven't taken it since, and I've not taken no pharmaceuticals for the anxiety. I really think your mind can really, get you into some bad spots, and it can also get you out of some bad spots. You got to be positive, just positive thinking, positive thinking, positive thinking. But it's difficult to do when you're going through anxiety, because I went through it. There's a lot of people out there that are going through this stuff right now, and I feel for you. But remember, there's a lot of people that are worse than you, and there's a lot of people that are not as bad as you. Another thing that I'm doing right now is, like on a weekly basis, I'm doing some meditation, some breathing techniques, but it's very difficult, to do that over, once a week. You should maybe be doing it 3 times a week and try to clear your mind of just nothingness. You just got to be blank, and it's very difficult. That's something that you gotta work on to get better and better at. And I've also been working out like a fiend, like a madman, since the end of July, and that's really helped me out. But at the time, 2.5 years ago, I couldn't even work out because the sensation of not being able to breathe, even lifting weights, aggravated it even more. So I kind of ixnayed that. That was like, I couldn't even do that. But now that I don't have that sensation anymore, yeah, I can work out hours if I wanted to right now and not be affected by it. So that's what I did. Got through it. Didn't have to take no pharmaceuticals, but I got the pharmaceutical, if you know what I mean. I don't know if it's going to help anybody out there. And another thing that I did was, at that time, I cut out all stimulants, caffeine, no drinking, smoke. I wasn't a smoker anyways, but I was a chewer. I quit chewing. Try to eat is the best foods you can. None of this processed crap. And that helped me out, I believe, a great deal as well. So that's my story, guys. Just remember, you're not alone on this. There are millions and millions of people that go through this every day at different degrees, and you got to figure out what's best for you, if it's a pharmaceutical or not a pharmaceutical. Don't think that you're weak, that if you got to do that, don't think that you're weak. If you're going through this and it's been months and months and months or years and you're not taking anything, you just got to live through it, you got to remember, you're one tough SOB. You're tough to be able to get through this without taking anything, you know, and be proud of that. So that's it. Have a great day. Be safe. Thanks for watching, and until next time.